Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today. We're doing a video that I'm showcasing the key player to every series, like each team's key player. And now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to be highlighting, oh, LeBron James is the key player for the Lakers. Oh, Giannis is the key player for the Bucks. Guys like that. Anthony Edwards. No, I'm taking a look at more so guys who I think are going to be like necessary to do their thing and go above and beyond their original duties that they did in the regular season. Just because we know these stars, guys like Giannis, LeBron, they're going to do their thing. They're going to go like 30 points a game. That's just what they do. But, for a team to be successful to win a whole series, they need the other guys to step up. And I kind of want to highlight the other guys who I think are going to need to step up for each team to win a series, if that makes sense. I think it does. I think I explained it well. But without further ado, let's just get into it. I can show you guys. For the first game, we're going to be taking a look at the Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, let's take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks. So the key players who I think are going to be necessary for the Bucks to win. Um, Damian Lillard comes back game 2, hopefully, for the Milwaukee Bucks. But I think the key players for this series for the Bucks are going to be. I want to usually highlight one player. I'm going to highlight two here. I'm really going to touch on one more than the other. But the first one I want to highlight is going to be Gary Trent Jr. He's going to be huge for the Bucks in this series. As you can see, that it's pretty cool how ESPN does this. Oh, you can't see my mouse, but I'm highlighting the points per game versus Indiana. 13.5. And the key thing here is look at his three-point shooting percentage. 60%, almost 60% three-point shooting percentage. And Gary Trent, he's going to need to be averaging about 15 a game for the Bucks if they want to win this series. But this isn't the player that I want to highlight. Just a guy who I was like, it's got to do him. It's going to be the emergence for, where is he? There he is, KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., who in these past like 10 games of the season with Lillard being out, he's really stepped up. He's like a 20 points per game kind of guy right now. See, look at these last 10 points per game. Okay, it's 16.4 points. But for the Bucks to be successful, they're going to need KPJ to do what he has been doing these last 10 games, where he sparks the team, he builds momentum, he'll take it in. See, the thing with the Bucks is they kind of struggle, or they were kind of struggling with the bench squad in because they didn't have any shot creators. They were all just shot makers. As were to guys like Giannis, Dame, Gary Trent Jr. is a shot maker. Okay, but or a shot creator. But those guys were dishing out to open players for high percentage looks. But they needed a guy who can get himself a basket, and that guy is Kevin Porter Jr. for the Bucks. And not just offensively, defensively, he was going crazy. I remember in the game against the Timberwolves where they came back in the fourth quarter, KPJ had 5 steals. And then the next game, KPJ had another 5 steals. So in 2 games, 10 steals. That's actually crazy. But yeah, for the Bucks to be successful, they're really going to need KPJ to sort of step up and do what he has been doing these last couple games, especially when Lillard is going to be out. Even when Lillard comes back, they're going to need this guy to build momentum for him. I know a huge thing about KPJ is that even when Dame was back and the Bucks were kind of losing games and struggling, in the third quarter, KPJ would sort of take over for them. He would build the momentum for then Giannis to build upon that momentum in the fourth quarter when he would come in, and they would both just dominate together. Yeah, the Bucks trading MarJon Beauchamp. And don't get me wrong, I love MarJon Beauchamp. I actually have his jersey, his Milwaukee Bucks jersey. Don't ask why. I thought MarJon Beauchamp was going to be the next Jason Tatum. But he's on the Knicks now, so yeah. But for the Clippers to trade this guy away from MarJon and then drop MarJon like 2 games later, it's absolutely wild. I don't know why they did that. But let's move back on to the other team the Bucks are facing, the Indiana Pacers. And the guy who I really want to highlight here for the Indiana Pacers is going to be, where is he? Right here. Their center, the veteran on the team, Miles Turner. And now, the one thing that worries, I really wish, hold on, I'm going to see if I can turn on my mouse. You know what, whatever. The one thing that worries me right here is for the Pacers, the 3-point percentage versus Milwaukee is at 28.6%. Now remember, last year's playoffs, Miles Turner was torching the Bucks, and I think Miles Turner was a huge reason as to why the Indiana Pacers beat the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks didn't have Giannis, granted, or they didn't have Dame, and Bobby got ejected, and all that garbage was going on with the Bucks. But this man was torching the Bucks, and he was torching Brook Lopez. See, the thing about that's gonna make the Pacers really successful is Miles Turner and Siakam both in the pick and roll with Halliburton. Now, if Miles Turner and Halliburton do a pick and roll, which is honestly one of the greatest plays in basketball, and he fades, and Miles Turner has to fade to shoot the three, Brook Lopez is going to drop and leave Miles Turner wide open. He was doing this last year. And if Miles Turner can convert these shots, the Pacers are going to win the game. They are going to win the game. But if he can't, then they're not going to win. It's just as simple as that. That's honestly how I see this game. Now, same thing with Siakam. And the thing that I really like about the Pacers, and so you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, what do the Bucks do? The Bucks can go into a zone then, but that leaves up spot up shooters open, which is not good. And then if they want to go one-on-one, man, they can run the pick and roll. And also Pascal Siakam, who I'm gonna highlight him a little bit. He's not the Miles Turner that I'm thinking of kind of player, but Pascal Siakam is gonna be able to just get past anybody. I mean, maybe not Giannis. He can give Giannis buckets, and he has at times. But Pascal Siakam is going to be a danger. So the Pacers are actually a really dangerous team to go against. But I think Miles Turner, he is going to be open because Brook Lopez is going to drop. So Miles Turner is going to be the key for the Pacers. He needs to hit his threes for the Pacers to win the series. Okay. So you kind of get what I'm saying. I'm not highlighting the star players. No Giannis, no Halliburtons. I'm highlighting guys like Miles Turner, Kevin Porter Jr. Okay, let's move on to our second game, which is the Clippers versus the Nuggets. Now, let's start off with the LA Clippers. Now, the Clippers, healthy Kawhi. I think this is going to be an amazing series. I'm actually really excited to watch what's going to happen with these guys. But for the LA Clippers, I'm going to be highlighting their center, if this loads, Zubac. Ivica Zubac. I'm pretty sure he's Croatian, so shout out to him. Yep. So, for the Clippers to be successful, Zubac is going to have to drop 20 and 10, 20 points, 10 rebounds, honestly, even more rebounds a game. And he can definitely do this against Jokic. I definitely think so. I mean, against DeAndre, oh my gosh, Jordan. DeAndre, I was going to say Ayton. I was like, no, it's DeAndre Jordan, the old Clipper. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great series. But I think if Zubac, see, look at this, last 10, he's shooting almost 70%, almost 14 rebounds a game, about 20 points. If he can do that, and he can kind of guard Jokic, I mean, no one can guard Jokic, but he can kind of stymie him from getting to the paint a little bit more. I honestly think the Clippers are going to run a zone. I mean, they don't even have to. They have Kawhi as a defender. They have other guys too. But yeah, I think Zubac is a huge key to the Clippers. I haven't watched a lot of Clippers games, so I don't really know about like Bogdanovich is going to be huge for the Clippers if he can hit his threes. But let's move on to the team the Clippers are facing, the Denver Nuggets. And now, if my computer will load, geez. Okay, so the Denver Nuggets, the key player here is going to be, you can put it between two people. You can either put it between Michael Porter Jr., who needs to hit his threes. He's going to be huge for them. But I'm putting it, or honestly, Russell Westbrook too, going against his old team, the Clippers. That's going to be a fun series. If Russ can be more efficient. Now, the thing I like about Russ this year, it feels like he's floating more than other years. He's more confident. I feel like the coach, Michael Malone, is gone. And he was giving Westbrook a lot of confidence. That's how I felt. But Russ is shooting threes, and he's he's making them. I mean, granted, he'll have some efficient games, not that efficient, but he's making like two to three threes a game. Honestly, that I've watched the Nuggets play. So he's not afraid to shoot, which I really like. But the player who I really want to highlight here is Christian Braun, who is, I mean, he emerged. I mean, he emerged last season, but this season he just grew upon that. I mean, it's just shocking. Look at his last 10 games. Granted that, I mean, these 10 games have meant a lot for seeding wise in the West, so that is a big deal. 18 points per game, shooting 45% from the floor, 61%, 62%, or 45 for three, 60. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I can't speak sometimes, but he's almost in that 50-40-90 club here. Just missing out with free throws a lot. But Christian Braun is huge for the Nuggets on the fast breaks. He can convert them, and also not even that. He's also like can spark the crowd into the game, going on because he's sneakily like has hops and he can like dunk on people, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Christian Braun is going to be huge for them. They're going to need him to run in transition, use his speed against the Clippers. Yeah, I think Christian Braun is going to be the key player because Jokic is going to be dropping his triple doubles. Jamal Murray, who has struggled this season. I mean, playoff Murray is a different guy. He's going to go up. But yeah, I think Christian Braun is going to need to really step up. He's going to need to be dropping his 15 points per game. Look at it right here. 11.3. He's going to need to bring that up 4 points a game. Assist-wise, yeah, I'll probably bring that up. But, I mean, look at this. 43% from three-point. 66% from the floor. He just needs to bring up his points, and I think he will do that. He's going to be the key. If the Nuggets want to win the series, Christian Braun is going to need to be dominant, especially in transition. Okay, now moving back on to the games, we're going to be talking about the Pistons versus the Knicks. Now, for the Detroit Pistons, I'm looking at one guy here in particular that I really think needs to blossom this playoff run if the Pistons want to actually beat the powerhouse, the Knicks. And that man is the shimmy man himself, Malik Beasley. Now, the reason, okay, Cade Cunningham is going to do what he's going to be doing, but I think the reason that Malik Beasley is going to have a great series and has been having a great year is because that the Detroit Pistons, now I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know if this is 100% likely, but this is what it just feels to me, is that, especially under the coach, why do I want to see J.D. Vance? It's not J.D. Vance. Who's the Pistons coach? It was the Bickerstaff. J.B. Bickerstaff, not J.D. Vance. Okay, J.B. Bickerstaff. God, I can't even speak. I feel like he's kind of gave this team an identity that has made Malik Beasley comfortable. Like, the Pistons know that Cade Cunningham is the star of the team and he's going to be the man in the helm. But I think the confidence that Malik Beasley has as being one of the older guys on this team, as being, I guess one of the veteran presence on this young team, is that it gives him a confidence to take shots whenever he kind of wants to take shots. And which has really actually blossomed Malik Beasley's game, and it's kind of shown that he's actually like this really solid player. He's not just this role player that was on the Bucks last year that played with Giannis. He's actually like one of the main guys on the team. And you can see that here. Almost 16 points per game versus New York. In the last 10, 17 points per game. Regular season, 16 points. And I think last year it was around probably 10 points per game. So he's really improved that. And so, look at this. Malik Beasley, one of the most prolific, the second place runner-up. Shout out that tweet. I know Malik Beasley said a tweet. I can't believe I led the league in three-point shootings, and then Anthony Edwards dropped 7 threes. And he took the most amount of threes made in a season. Malik actually comes off the bench, I'm pretty sure. So, but look at this. 55.5% from 3 versus the Knicks. So it's gonna be huge for them. But I think that yeah, he's not even gonna be guarded by OG. So he's gonna really have to shine for the Pistons to win this series, and I think he is gonna shine. So that's a key player to look out for. Okay, my computer froze. Technical difficulties. All right, we're back. Now let's look at the New York Knicks. Um, Go to the Knicks. Depth roster. Actually, depth that kind of works. I kind of like depth more. So the guy we're looking at here, OG Anunoby, who has like had a crazy season. I mean, look at this. Last 10 games, 24 points per game on the last 10. On the season, 18 points per game. His career average is 13 points per game, and he's hit that mark plus 5 points. I mean, in these last, I wish I really. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I mean, I use an app called Real, which I look up a lot of stats on that I love. But look at this. I mean, let's see all. Let's see all. I mean, look at this. OG Anunoby. Now I know he's dealing with some. I think it's his his wrist that he's hurt that he's dealing with. But look at this. 25, 23, 35, 28, 31, 28, 20, 27, 23, 24, 32, 13, 15. Granted, I think he got hurt during this Boston game in overtime. Pretty sure he got hurt. And then this game he came back. He didn't do so. I mean, 15 points. Yeah, he didn't do so well efficiently. But look at this. 31 points on 42%. 35 points on 62%. Like, this guy has just been going off for the New York Knicks. And he's going to have to do the same thing against the Pistons if they want to be successful. And I know he's probably what option? I mean, he's got to be high up there. He might even be number 3 for the Knicks. Mikal Bridges might be that number 4. If OG is playing like this, not only can he get it done offensively, defensively, OG is just I was about to say a thought. No, OG is a stud. I'm thinking a stud. I don't know why I was gonna say thought, but man, OG key player for the Knicks. But yeah, on the season, 16 points. He's definitely gonna need to do a little bit more. Honestly, is he going to have to do... I think, actually, he is going to have to do more because the Pistons actually lead it. I think it was either a 4-0 sweep the Pistons had over the Knicks, or it was a 3-1 the Pistons had over the Knicks. Yeah, his thumb has been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Nets. Okay, that was 4 days ago. I'm sure he'll be fine. That was probably just injury management. But yeah, OG Anunoby is going to be the key player in this this series. Hold on, let's see really quick if that shows us. If I can go back here, that'll show me. Okay, so a lot of people, but let me show me the season thing. Alright, just not gonna show me, or maybe I'm missing it. Yeah, okay. Oh, another thing about the Pistons, look at this right here. Jaden Ivey's been out for the season. Estimated return. Actually, might be back for the playoffs, which I don't know if that'll probably hurt Malik Beasley a little bit. Ivey coming back, but they're gonna integrate him slowly, so maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Let's just move on to our next series: the Timberwolves versus the Lakers. Now, I've been getting a lot of hate. Not hate, but like funny comments saying like, man, how can you pick like this dude? I woke up this morning and I checked my comments and this dude he was like, is bro drunk picking the Timberwolves over the Lakers? I was just dying laughing, man. That was shout out to whoever wrote that. You really actually made me laugh like hard. So yeah, let's talk about the teams together now. I think the key player for the Minnesota Timberwolves is going to be alright, so it's a throw up between guys like, okay, of course Naz Reid is going to be a key player. He's going to be hitting his threes. But it's going to be guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, DiVincenzo, who's been going off these past games. Jaden McDaniels. I kind of want to highlight Nickeil Alexander-Walker more than these other guys, just because like his three-point emergence, if he can be successful, the Minnesota Timberwolves are just gonna win the game. If he's like shooting at a high percentage from three. But the player who I want to highlight here, who is, I don't think he's their star player. He's one of their big players, but it's going to be Rudy Gobert. And this can both be a blessing and a curse for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, what I'm thinking of it being a blessing is that who's going to guard Gobert down low? I mean, Rui Hachimura, Vando, Jackson Hayes, maybe. Don't connect, no. So probably Jackson Hayes, but is he going to be able to guard him in the post game? They're just going to foul Gobert the whole time, and then they're going to be in foul trouble, and then who's going to guard Gobert if Jackson Hayes fouls out? So if Gobert can successfully bait fouls and just work at the rim, I think he's going to be the key. See, my PC keeps freezing. I don't know why. Hopefully it's fine on the OBS, but I think Gobert is going to be the key player here for the Timberwolves if they really want to be successful and beat the Lakers. They beat them down low in the old school game. And you know Ant's going to do his thing. Hopefully it'll be at 30 points per game. They're going to need him to do that, player. And they're going to need the other guys to hit big shots, but they're really going to need Rudy Gobert to, I think, anchor down defensively in the paint and just control it on both sides. Now, I'm really actually upset that my PC is freezing, because I want to move on to a quick little topic here. But let's move to the Lakers. I know you can't see it, but kind of dealing with Rudy Gobert and the Lakers, that I remember a couple years ago when Gobert was on the Jazz. I think they were playing, here we go. I think they were playing, who were they playing? The Mavericks, was it? Or was it the Suns? The Jazz versus the Suns, Jazz versus Mavericks. Maybe it was the Warriors, I can't remember. I think it was the Warriors. But Gobert was getting abused. Defensively abused. And you might be saying, whoa, Gobert is like the defensive, always in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. How could he be getting abused on defense? And it was because maybe it was Quinn Snyder's fault or whatever it was, but they were running man-to-man, and they should have really been running zone. You have to run zone with Rudy Gobert, especially when the other team has a stretch big. And that's exactly what the Warriors or whoever it was had. They had a stretch big. And so I'm thinking, okay, the Lakers, who's going to be a star player that's really going to need to step up and can shoot threes? Okay, Jackson Hayes, he can kind of shoot threes. Not really. And I'm thinking the rookie, Dalton Connect, is going to need to have a huge series here. And now you look at the splits, the numbers here, not impressive at all. You might be like, okay, why are you highlighting Dalton Connect? Because, well, like I said, if Rudy Gobert is going to be cheating to help in paint defense, it's going to be leaving open a shooting big. And Dalton Connect is that shooting big. So guys like Dalton Connect, he's going to really need to step up. And if I'm JJ Redick, I'm giving see, this is the hard part, because if you play Dalton Connect, he can't really defensively. Is he gonna be able to guard Gobert? No. So you're gonna have to run a zone when Connect's in, and that's fine. But if Minnesota's running man, then you play Connect on the offensive end, and Luka can just dish him the ball whenever, because you know Luka's gonna drive. He's gonna muster that help defense for the Timberwolves. He's going to dish it out, Magic Johnson-esque. He's going to dish it out, and Connect's going to be there in the corner or up top shooting that three ball, and he's going to have to make it. So I think the key to the series is really going to be Rudy Gobert's play. If he can be dominant in the paint and somehow they can run a zone or something like that, and he can stop them and it connect, and the Lakers bigs can't really shoot threes. Because, look at here, 4.3. He hasn't played a lot. 3-point percentage versus Minnesota, 8%. By right, Connect. We're going to need to bring that up. You're going to have to show out in the playoffs. But, yeah, that's my play for the Lakers. Let me know. My PC froze again. By right. let me know what you guys think. If you have another key player that's not LeBron or Luka, maybe it's Roy Hachimura. You think he's gonna have to have a great game. Vanderbilt defensively is gonna have to have a great game against probably Ant. Probably be guarding Ant. Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves was also my other close one that I thought is gonna have to, because he is gonna have to go off. But we all know he is gonna go off. Um. So yeah, let's go back. I don't know why this is like freezing up. It's kind of making me a little bit frustrated, but it's okay. We live. And let's move on to Sunday's games. Starting off with, let's just start off. We don't know. I'll tackle these two last. The Thunder and the Cavs last. Magic versus Celtics. Now, for the Magic. Okay, we all watched the. Maybe you didn't, but if you did, you watched the play-in game. Franz Wagner and Paulo, offensively, scoring-wise, didn't do too much. And now they didn't really need to do that. But against Boston, they're going to need to do that and then some. They're going to need to be above and beyond with their scoring. They're going to have to be firing on all cylinders for the Magic if they want to win. But like I said, we're not taking a look at the star players. We're taking a look at more of the scrubs. No, not the scrubs. More of the bench guys. I'm thinking of two players here. One more than the other. But Anthony Black is definitely one of them. If he can be successful like he was against the Hawks in the play-in, but the player I'm really looking at is Cole Anthony. And if we look at this, in his points per game versus Boston, 17 points per game. And why I'm highlighting guys like Anthony Black and Cole Anthony is because to beat Boston, you're gonna have to have your star players playing well. Okay, so you're going to need Franz Wagner playing well. You're going to need Paulo playing well. Okay. And that kind of reminded me of another series, is that Jimmy Butler was playing well. Bam Adebayo was playing well. So what made the Heat so successful in these series? Well, I'll tell you why. They had guys like Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin stepping up and doing what they did, and that's ultimately the reason why the Heat won that series, was because guys like Caleb Martin. And then also Al Horford did the T. See, the thing is, you can't set Jimmy off. We'll talk about that later, but you can't set playoff Jimmy. You can't give him a fire. You can't ignite his fire. But yeah, so guys like Cole Anthony, he's gonna need to go off. He's gonna need to do his 17, 18 points per game against the Boston Celtics every single game of this series if the Magic want a fighting chance. And if he can do that, it's going to go probably a 7-game series if he can do that. Maybe I'm not even going to say 6-game series. I'm going to go 7-game series. If the Magic really want to win, it's going to be in 7 games. So yeah. Okay, my computer froze again. Cool, dude. Cool, dude. I don't know why it's freezing. But yeah, look at this. Regular season, 9.4 points per game. And then the play-in last game, he dropped 26 points. He's going to need to do that. He's going to have to take that Caleb Martin role. It was Caleb Martin, right? Not Cody. Yeah, it was Caleb. Caleb Martin. Cody's the other brother. He played on the Hornets at the time during that Heat series that I'm thinking of. Yeah, man. So he's going to need that. And for the Boston Celtics, it's really hard because they have so many good players. And so I'm like, man, who do I pick? They have so many like decent like star players that need to step up. And I was thinking like, okay, who can take advantage of this Magic team? And I think two guys that came to mind are, okay, we know Jaylen Brown is going to do what he's going to do. We know actually I'm thinking of 3 guys right now. We know Drew Holiday is going to be good, shooting 3-wise, defensively. Al Horford's going to be doing his thing. Who else was it? Tatum's going to be doing his thing. Derek White's going to be doing his thing. So 3 players that I'm torn between are Sam Hauser, who is probably the last on my list. I mean, he's going to need to be hitting his threes. But then I'm thinking of these 2 guys. It's between Peyton Pritchard and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Peyton Pritchard has really emerged this season off the bench. Honestly, I think he's one of the 6 men of the year candidates. But yeah, Peyton Pritchard is going to have to, especially against this Magic team in the first round, who are the 7th seed. You usually need a guy like this to go off. Because you don't want to have your starters doing it all. You want to have them. You kind of want to save them for the next round. But probably against the Knicks they'll play, or the Pistons. But yeah, you're gonna need Peyton Pritchard to go off. It's crazy to think that Peyton Pritchard is 27 years old, which is nuts. But the other guy who I want to highlight was Kristaps Porzingis, who I think is really gonna have to sort of school the Magic. Look at this, 20 points per game versus Orlando. Granted, he hasn't played that many games this season. Like, look at this. Okay, he's played 42 games out of the, 82? 20 points per game. Yeah, he's going to need to be doing this. And the thing I like about Porzingis so much is his size, especially against the Magic. Now, they'll probably save Jonathan Isaac to guard Tatum. Honestly, that's what I would do if I was the... See, I'm not thinking of coaches' names right now. I actually really like the Magic coach. So whatever, you know what I'm saying. If I'm the Magic coach, I'm saving Jonathan Isaac for Tatum. Wendell Carter, I'm probably going to put on Kristaps. Now, Anthony Black is going to have to guard Jaylen Brown. That's what I'm thinking at least. And I think that Jaylen Brown can kind of use his veteran experience and his expertise to kind of school Anthony Black. But yeah, so the key for the Celtics, I think, is if Kristaps is just going to have to do good from 3 and use his size to his advantage. He's going to be the tallest player out on the court. Who are you going to have, Goga Bataza guarding him? No. Stop. Okay, so that's my key for both of these series. Oh man, this is a long video, so hopefully you're still around, sticking with me. Then we're moving on to Warriors versus Rockets. And let's talk about the Warriors first. Okay. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to highlight the stars. But I don't think I can do that with the Warriors. Because the Warriors, the one player that I really just need to highlight that's going to get everyone going is Jimmy Butler. I mean, playoff Jimmy is the real deal. And, I mean, we saw in the play-in versus Memphis, Jimmy was passing the ball. He was getting to the rim. He was going to the line. He made a 3. Rebound-wise, defensively, he was getting steals. And he's kind of just was running the show for them. And Jimmy's just going to have to keep doing that. So I am highlighting Jimmy Butler here for the Warriors. He's just going to be the key player. I mean, I think that if they're going to be successful, like, yes, of course, the other guys need to make the shots. But the guy who's creating the shots for them is honestly, he's running the team. He's running the offense. And that man is Jimmy Butler for them. I mean, of course, Steph Curry can run the offense and score. But Jimmy Butler is going to be the main guy throughout the whole game who's going to be getting things done for the Warriors. And now moving on to the Rockets. Now, I was like, what I was talking about earlier that I said, Jimmy Butler, you don't want to light his fire. And I think that, and I'm thinking of matchup-wise, okay, are they going to have Amen Thompson guard Curry? Okay, who's going to guard Buckets, Jimmy Buckets? Dylan Brooks. Okay. See, that's the thing I don't want. Dylan Brooks, I mean, he's a good defender. Great player. But if Dylan Brooks guards Jimmy, that's going to light a fire under Jimmy, and it's just going to be GG's for the Rockets. So then what do? Do you put Amen Thompson? See, this is the hard thing that you have to think about if you're Ime Udoka. Do you put Amen Thompson on Jimmy Butler and try and... This is what I would do. I would put Amen Thompson on Jimmy Butler to try and stymie the offense a little bit and like to slow down Jimmy Butler's role in the Warriors, just their offense. But then you put Dylan Brooks on Steph Curry. I mean, that's never gone bad.
know they're looking for Steph. Dylan Brooks is on him now.
This is a screen to get Brooks off of him. Oh, he crossed him over. Let Brooks fly by. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, Steph Curry.
He did him dirty.
Clip. Hopefully I just played the clip. We all saw what happened there. So it's like the Warriors, just matchup-wise, I think the Warriors outrank the Houston Rockets, but the Rockets were the second seed. Now, okay, but the player I'm highlighting here for the Rockets, it's not Jalen Green, it's not Alperen Sengun. We know they're gonna need to do what they're gonna need to do, but it's Amen Thompson. Now, offensive-wise, Amen Thompson, not a great shooter. Look at this, 22% from three. On the season, I think it was even worse from three. Oh no, it was actually better. It was 28, 27.5 from three. But yeah, so they're gonna dare him to shoot, so he's gonna need to knock down at least a couple of jump shots a game. But the thing about Amen is that what I'm thinking of is defensive-wise, if he can kind of stymie Jimmy Butler and stop him from doing what he was doing against the Grizzlies, where he just took over the game, I think that if he can stop him assist-wise, he can stop him from driving, from fouling. See, the thing I love about Jimmy Butler, too, is that he can control the game from the foul line, too. Like, if he notices momentum is happening and he needs to shift that, he's going to go to the game and he's going to draw fouls and he's going to take the crowd slowly out of the game. And that's a huge thing I noticed when every single Warriors game I've watched this season, is that the fourth quarters are just so long, whether it's free throws, it's fouls, it's something going on with the refs where they need to pause and take a look at it. And I feel like the Warriors just control the fourth quarter. They make their own. That's why Steve Kerr is so good at being a coach, because he can just control the game. So shout out to Steve Kerr for that. But yeah, Amen Thompson, they're going to need him to just be a defensive menace on Jimmy. Hopefully they don't put Dylan Brooks on Jimmy, which I'm thinking they're probably going to do. But we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna love looking back at this video after watching like game one of the playoffs for each game and see if like what the matchups are, if like what I'm saying here are being exploited. If one of these coaches are watching my videos, they should be, honestly. I mean, everybody should be watching my videos. No, I'm joking, of course. But man, we have fun over here at LRT Enterprises. But let's move on to these games now. These games are a little bit different. Why I saved them for last is because it's either going to be, okay, we could talk about the play-ins. I'll quickly touch on the play-ins. So the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies. Who's going to need to go up for the Grizzlies? It's either going to be Southie Aldama, a player like that, for them to be successful. Because, Ja's going to do his thing. Triple J's is going to do his thing. Or it's going to be Zach Edey. So we got that. For the Grizzlies. For the Mavericks, Davis, they're gonna need Davis. But I think players like Brandon Williams, who had a really shocking game, really good, good shocking game against the Kings. And then also Najee Marshall, who is a really key player for the Mavericks to do well if they want to win. For the other side, the Heat versus the Hawks, you're just gonna need Tyler Hero to go nuclear every game. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Heat. For the Hawks, like I said before, they really need Reece Shea to step up and do good. And he didn't really step up and do good. I mean, Trae Young didn't have a great game, too. Okay, the thing is, but why Trae Young got ejected and why I kind of agree with him, why he was upset, was because, I mean, these refs were not. Trae Young was clearly getting fouled on that. There was one 3-point shot where Trae Young got fouled. There was a driving one where I noticed and I was like, how are they not calling this? And that was Trae Young was clearly frustrated and upset. So he might go out there and he might drop like a 50 bomb because he's pissed. But yeah, they need Reece Shea. The Hawks need Reece Shea to do something for them to be really successful. Because, I mean, what? Reece Shea, the first overall pick in the draft. You can't be going out there. Let's see this game. You can't be going out there and scoring 7 points in 30 minutes. If you're the number one pick, bro, you need to be scoring like at least 15, 17 points. Come on, bro. We're Hawks fans. They need you to step up. Also, sorry, Hawks fans. I know Shaq put the bird to rest. He's not a Hawks guy anymore, which is pretty sad. But So I'm gonna say that I know I said the Hawks are gonna win this game. I don't know. It could go either way, and I'm gonna say the Grizzlies are gonna win this game. So let's do this one first. Thunder versus the Grizzlies. Who from the Grizzlies do I think is gonna make the most impact on the game? And what do I need him to do the most? And I think of a couple players, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to the rookie. I'm giving it to Zach Edey. I think he's gonna have to continue to be just a menace in the paint. And the thing why I'm talking about Zach Edey is because my player for the OKC is Chet. Now I think it's going to be a center battle because you know Shea. Well, honestly, ultimately at the end of the day, Shea is probably going to drop 40 a game, and that'll be that for this series. But if he doesn't, which he probably will, there's like a 70% chance he does. But if he doesn't, if I'm the coach, so this is my audition, my interview to be the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies because I know they're looking for a new coach. So I'm ready here, guys. So Memphis, what do you have to do to be successful to win during the series? Is you need to have Zach Edey draw fouls. You're gonna need to have guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. draw fouls on Chet. And now, why to draw fouls on Chet? Well, if you knock out Chet, if you knock out Chet from the game, oh, they have Hartenstein too, which is going to be a key player for them. But I still think, yeah, that's actually, if you can get them both in foul trouble, you have to get Chet in foul trouble, and you have to get Hartenstein in foul trouble with Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. Because then, if you get either one of these two guys out and you get the other one in foul trouble as well, they can just own the game in the paint. They can control the game from the paint. The Memphis Grizzlies can. Because John Morant's going to be driving the paint. He can also draw fouls on guys like Hartenstein and Chet. So I think that's going to be the most important thing for them. And then for OKC, like I said, I'm focusing on Chet. I think if Chet can kind of limit his don't foul Ja, don't foul Triple J, don't foul Edey. But yeah, man, I think Chet is gonna be like the key player because they're gonna need him to shoot his threes, be successful, also off the dribble. Yeah, stretch the floor because stretching the floor is a huge thing for Shea. That's what makes him so successful. So yeah, I think Chet's gonna be the player here. And then lastly, last but not least, I know this is a long video, so hopefully you stuck around. The Cavs versus either the Heat or the Hawks. If it's the Heat, they're just going to need Tyler here to go nuclear every game. Bam to sort of limit the paint and Jared Allen. If it's the Hawks, like I said, I don't think any of these teams can win the series ultimately. So it's kind of, yeah, you just need a guy to go nuclear. You need Trae Young to be the villain against Cleveland, which is going to be really difficult in a defensive Cleveland team. But yeah, for the Cavs, the key player is going to be Jared Allen and Darius Garland. Now, I was like, don't say the star players, but I have to because it's just, see, now we don't have to talk about the star players when it gets a more competitive game, sort of like how we had with the Timberwolves and the Lakers, or the Bucks and the Pacers. I wasn't highlighting Giannis. I wasn't highlighting Tyrese. I was highlighting these bench players. And the bench players make all the difference in the second round and moving forward. In the first round, when you got like the 1 versus 8 seed, the star players are just gonna shine. At least, I mean, well, that's not it. That's not. I kind of contradicting myself a little bit from what I said, but for the Cavs, like I said, Jared Allen, um, and Darius Garland. Jared Allen's gonna have to be dropping 20 and 10 a game. I mean, he doesn't have to, but he's probably going to just dominate the paint for the Cavs against the Heat or the Hawks. Bam is gonna put up a fight if it is the Heat. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. If it is the Heat, but yeah, if it's the Hawks, I mean, Clint Capella's out. Onyeka Okongwu is good, but defensive wise, and then yeah, Darius Garland, he's just gonna have to hit his threes. Um, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. But yeah, if Darius Garland can go hit his threes, and sort of just be a point guard and kind of take off the pressure of Donovan Mitchell, even though I don't even think there's that much pressure on Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, I think that's the key. So those are the keys to every series. Hopefully you guys liked this video. I know it's a long one. I'm currently on 45 minutes right now. Hopefully you stuck around. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, who you think the key player is. That's not the stars. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you think that I'm like kind of onto something, if I'm not onto something, if I'm drunk again. Yeah, but yeah, without further ado, peace. Without further ado, I don't know. See ya.